Welcome to Kettlebottom Outdoor Pursuits. Brought to you by Kettlebottom.com, your local link to enjoying the outdoors in your own backyard. And by Wood Boat and Motor, Rhode Island's premier bass boat dealer. And now, your host, Don Coyne.
Hello everyone, my name is Don Coyne and welcome to another edition of Kettlebottom Outdoor Pursuits, your top tip center for enjoying the outdoors. On today's show, John Longo, Rob Roach, and Mark Mingain from RIHunts.com successfully coach big birds out of the woods. Then after the hunt, we'll cook up the prize. Plus, certified dog trainer Buck Shope continues his series with a field test you can work on with your four-legged friend. That's all straight ahead on Kettlebottom Outdoor Pursuits, your top tip center for enjoying the outdoors. Make sure you go to Kettlebottom.com.
Exquisite craftsmanship, superior performance. When you need to get to the fish, turn to Wood Boat and Motor, Rhode Island's premier bass boat dealer, specializing in world-class performance Ranger and Champion boats and Evinrude outboards. For service, speed, and reliability, depend on Wood Boat and Motor. Visit us online or at our showroom.
What if you weren't prepared? What if your bait wasn't the best? Serious anglers know that it's what you put on the line that counts. That's why they trust one name, Hooker Baits. Our excellence in quality is providing superior results for anglers everywhere. Hooker Baits will give you that advantage. Hooker Baits. Visit us online or at these retailers.
Welcome back to Kettlebottom Outdoor Pursuits. It's never easy to bag a big turkey. Some days you have to work more than one day to try to get the bird. And that's what our boys had to do, but in the end, they were successful. On a crisp May Rhode Island morning, the dew was on the trees and the birds were everywhere. But Rob Roach, John Longo, and Mark Mingain were looking for bigger birds, turkeys.
On that first day, we didn't hear anything. It was, you know, like Rob was saying, John was throwing everything at him, and it was unresponsive.
First day was probably the worst day that we had. We got out there early. We did have a couple of gobbles. We knew where the roost was. We were probably a few hundred yards away from it.
No sightings, but the day was far from unproductive.
To do your scouting is to know the terrain that you're on, know the way the land is formed, know where they go. Turkeys are very, very predictable in a lot of ways. They roost in the same general area every evening.
A few days later, back to the same field. It didn't take long to hear the turkey in the distance, so it was time for a plan of attack.
Right back to you. And what's going to happen is I'm probably going to sneak in the woods a little bit so he can't see me. Walk quietly. Stick to the edge. Yeah, right. Try to get this to me. Okay. Over here. Okay. Real quiet. That first tree. Yeah, right where you want.
John gave a couple of clucks, and the gobblers fired up, and just pretty much non-stop. So we set up, and John would give a call every so often, and the gobblers they'd fire right back. They flew down sometime, and then they got a little bit closer. John kept working them, and then for whatever reason, they just we never got them in sight. They just went off in the opposite direction. I don't know. John's out scouting around a bit, and we'll see what happens next.
If you haven't had the opportunity to scout, or you want to know exactly where they are, is to locate the birds. You can locate the birds through a couple of non-game calls. The owl call and the crow call are two very, very popular calls to use to locate the general vicinity of the birds. Early in the morning, when the sun, right before hunting time, you can throw out some calls to get a location. This is your typical owl call. You only have to say who cooks for you, and I'll show you what that sounds like. It's that simple. Do a couple of those, that can get a bird very, very excited. The other popular call to use for locating birds is a crow call.
After getting their attention, John tried to call them into the waiting trap.
For the beginner, this is what I'd recommend, a simple push button call. Now, for the purposes of this show, we decided that not to make it complicated, that I was only going to use 2 basic calls, and that's all you really need, are 2 basic calls. The first one I'll demonstrate is called the yelp. The yelp is a sound that a hen turkey makes to locate the flock. Here's a typical yelp. It's between 7 and 10 yelps.
Then the other call.
I tend to use the diaphragm calls because, again, movement is a big issue. I can put a diaphragm call in my mouth. Now, this is a single diaphragm call. This is a great call for a beginner to learn on. It takes a little bit getting used to. The gag reflex is going to make you want to, you know, spit this out as fast as you put it in. But this is a single reed call. You can do the same thing. I'm going to do the yelp that I just did on the box. I'm going to do it with a single reed call. Now, place this call in the back of your mouth to the point where you're going to throw up. But here it is.
And their efforts paid off with stage 1 being completed. But getting within shooting range of the birds, well, that's a different matter.
One on the left. That's the one right in front of him. It's about 75 yards.
And more of the feathered friends showed up.
Birds were all fired up, and then they just wandered off. They just kept going away from us, but they'll be back. Still plenty of daylight. Basically, with them moving off, what we had seen was there were some hens in the group, and they just started wandering off, and where the hens go, typically the toms will follow, from what I've seen. If there's a hen there, it's tough to break the toms away from that hen.
I mean, we worked hard. We did 2 days where we worked and worked and worked. We had birds hung up close to us. They didn't want to come in. They got just close enough, just outside of gun range, and oh my God, it was frustrating. I mean, we saw everything. We saw big toms, we saw hens, we saw Jake.
But with the birds really gaining no ground, it's John and Mark who had to be on the move.
Should I try and run up there? Do you want me to try and move up?
I was getting birds to come in, but they were coming in behind me. And Mark, a classic gentleman and a great hunter, knew that the only way he was going to take that turkey was to shoot me. So I really appreciated that he didn't.
I just could not get the shot. It was right place, wrong time. John was doing his thing and the birds were coming in, but I just couldn't get anything lined up. Closest would probably be 40 yards and under, I would think, for a good shot. But again, I couldn't get anything right there in front of me for a safe shot and a clean kill, so, you know, I had to pass up the opportunities.
No more movement or the prize would probably hit the thick brush.
It's really important to stay still. I can't tell you, the one thing I tell people when I take them out turkey hunting is get comfortable and don't move. And when I say don't move, I mean don't move. Don't move your head. Keep your gun up on your knee. If I had squirrels run across my legs because I'm in full camouflage, they can't see you. One false move, one movement of your arm, one movement of your eye or your head, and they'll pick it up and they're gone.
So it was once again time to work on the calling skills. And the skills worked, at least for this hungry coyote.
Longo was throwing out his insane calling, and we were getting turkeys responding, but out of nowhere we got a little guest arrive. A big coyote actually showed up and was really a sight to see. He was all scraggly from his winter coat and looking a little mangy, but I mean, you never get that close to a coyote. And we had full camo. We had, you know, we were all dug in ready for the turkeys, and this guy just came looking for a little snack. The dinner bell was ringing because that's a favorite snack of coyotes.
Lots of sights and sounds, but no kills on day 2. But that would change the next time out. You'll see the results when Kettlebottom Outdoor Pursuits return.
Mark Mingain and Rob Roach. Look at this. 2 Rhode Island giant tom turkeys. Unbelievable.
If you're an avid fisherman in Rhode Island, then you already know about Wildwood Outfitters in Wakefield. Wildwood Outfitters is as big as the All Outdoors, one of the largest fresh and saltwater tackle shops in New England. Choose from top-of-the-line rods and reels and fishing supplies to our full line of frozen and live bait. Come in today and let our expert staff help you make the right selection on all your angler needs. Wildwood Outfitters, Rhode Island's premier outdoor store, 271 Main Street in Wakefield. Be properly prepared.
Exquisite craftsmanship, superior performance. When you need to get to the fish, turn to Woodboat & Motor, Rhode Island's premier bass boat dealer, specializing in world-class performance Ranger and Champion boats and Evinrude outboards. For service, speed, and reliability, depend on Woodboat & Motor. Visit us online or at our showroom.
Day 2 of Mark Mingain, Rob Roach's, and John Longo's 3-day turkey adventure produced lots of turkey sightings.
They're everywhere, from, the northern part of the state down to, Charleston, they're everywhere, and there's DEM and Rhode Island's done a fantastic job with their restocking program. They've really taken to the state.
I've heard that it's the most successful reintroduction of any species in history, and I believe it just by seeing them everywhere. Whenever I'm driving along 295, 95, 138, see them all the time.
They had seen so many birds, they decided to try a 3rd day in the same field.
John, Mark, and I decided, spur of the moment, we were going to have a cameraman there late. We said, what the heck, let's go out and give it a try. So, we'll figure by the time the cameraman gets there, we'll know where they are, we'll get up on them, maybe we'll get one, and one thing led to another. We got out there were birds everywhere, gobbling, gobbling, gobbling.
When we got out there in the morning, they were on roost, so we kind of got a general location where the birds were, and once we had that determined, we set up, and we got ready, and then John did his calling like John does, and the rest is history.
Everything kind of came together in that 3rd day, and it was just great to see Mark have it. The guy was so still, he was a statue.
Everything came together today. Right place, right time. Awesome.
We had 8 toms out of nowhere, boom, right in front of us. This beautiful big tom showed up, and Mark took it. And we're just sitting there just celebrating the fact that we finally got a turkey, and a big one at that. And I look up and there's 8 toms attacking the tom that Mark just shot.
Like Rob was saying, the other toms came right in and attacked, and I wasn't even thinking. Rob's like, give me the gun, give me the gun.
And he took the shot, it was great, and then it was even more fun to watch Robbie scrambling for Mark's shotgun.
That's 2. I said, give me your gun, and boom, we doubled up. He got a 10.5-inch beard, I got a 10-inch beard.
And I get to fill my turkey tag too. Got a beautiful mature bird here too. Mark and I had a fantastic hunt. Big tom.
Huge birds. What an experience.
Man, it happened all in, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Awesome. The deer everywhere, the birds are everywhere. Awesome morning. Awesome. Awesome hunt. Definitely something to see. It was an awesome sight. It was an awesome morning.
And Mark knows his hunting, as his website shows.
RIHunts.com. I started that site about in November of 2003. Basically, it's a one-stop shop website. You have user forums, photo galleries, links to DEM, the wildlife management areas. It's a comprehensive site where it's everything you need to know about hunting in Rhode Island. It's a great little community we have there.
I tell you what, before this show, before I even knew who Mark Mingain was, I was on RIHunts.com. I was on the forum. I was posting the pictures from my hunts. I was meeting people from Rhode Island who were also interested in hunting and the outdoors. I mean, it is a fantastic resource. And if you are a hunter or you're a fisherman, you should definitely be logging on to RIHunts.com.
And the state website was so successful, Mark launched another one.
Last year, I launched anyhunts.com for New England and New York. And that site's starting to take off. And it's just, for the guys out in Connecticut or the rest of New England that don't have a place to talk about hunting, this is it. And they, hunting, trapping, fishing, it's all there.
Wow, this is Rhode Island. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. This was an incredible hunt.
And now another turkey posting for RIHunts.com.
RIHunts.com, Kettlebottom Outdoors. We did it, Mark. Unbelievable. Doesn't get any better than that.
Thanks to Mark Mingain from RI Hunts for joining us for a great day. If you'd like to see these segments again, simply go to Kettlebottom.com, your top tip center for enjoying the outdoors. When we return, from the firing to the frying pan, we'll show you how to really enjoy your prized turkey. That's straight ahead on Kettlebottom Outdoor Pursuits.
Before the scouting, before the gear, before the journey, RIHunts.com. Before the shot, the cast, the score, RIHunts.com. Rhode Island's one-stop hunting and fishing resource. Find weather, game movement times, tide charts, sportsman clubs, and WMA directories, event calendar, and more. Share your adventures at RIHunts.com's interactive user forum and photo gallery. Interested in advertising on RIHunts.com? It's easy and affordable. Call or click for details. RIHunts.com. Your hunt starts here.
And now it's time for this Kettlebottom Tip of the Week, brought to you by Wood Boat and Motor.
So what they're doing is the one up in front, he's looking for beds, fishing towards the shore. Once they find a bed, then they'll lock in on it. Teamwork is important, especially when you're bed fishing, because actually one person actually can fish the bed probably easier than two. Mike's going back to that same spot he was just on, so he's kind of looking to see. Sometimes they can see the fish just kind of cruising along. You'll see Mike just put on a pair of sunglasses to try to see the beds better. Sometimes you might have to work a bed for an hour or so. Or